Welcome to the Fan Club YouTube channel. Please make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment down below.
Holy smokes. We are back from Talladega.
Yep.
My goodness. Those are kind of the only few phrases I have to describe the weekend is holy smokes and my goodness.
Holy smokes, my goodness, and I'm tired.
Very tired.
I'm exhausted.
It's like a camping trip combined with being so busy. I think that's what does it. It's like something about the camping and sleeping in an RV and then the road trip puts it to another level than like flying somewhere and staying in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys know better than me, but I didn't even use the campground showers or anything like that like you guys use, but
We did.
Yeah, we're legit camping.
Mm-hmm.
how's it feel to
Community showers.
Dude,
and
we
all.
left the... So basically, just to explain a little bit, we camped out in the infield of a racetrack in Talladega, which apparently is just, I don't know, the thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a thing.
We're
to
a
do.
bunch of rookies running into this weekend. But we didn't leave the outfield more than like 5 times, and we never left the Speedway grounds once.
Nope.
Nope. It was our world.
Yeah, the only time we went out was on a cart to pick people up.
When Will says we had no idea what to expect, we literally had no idea what to expect this weekend. We had very minimal of an idea, not even like really an idea what we're getting ourselves into.
I think something we did a pretty good job of was actually like figuring out where our spot was, and then we were able to get to like the racetrack and back like
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of smoothly.
By the end, we were walking it like
Yeah.
15 minutes flat. Good
Mhm.
splits there.
We probably had top spot for a camper or like an RV, just like right by the main artery that led you anywhere
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
infield.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit before the actual experience, why we even went to Talladega, and what showed up in St. Louis Park to pick us up. And
Yeah.
how that came to be.
Well, I guess Lawson can probably explain the RV part of it since he was with it.
Yeah, the reason why first that we went to Talladega, we went there to work with NASCAR. Actually, tell the story with Amber. That's how it kicks off.
So, as most of our parents, I think they like to talk about us to some of their friends or random people that they meet, and my mom like really likes to do that. So she got this new hairdresser. Probably went to her like 2 or 3 times. Then by the time the 3rd time rolled around, they just started talking about us, and then obviously we do social media. So then she goes and tells her hairdresser, and her hairdresser says, "Oh, my best friend actually does social media, but she's a NASCAR driver." And then all of a sudden they just started talking, and I get a DM, and it was from Amber, and I guess that her best friends just thought that would be like a really cool like partnership and stuff. So then we started getting on the phone with NASCAR, and over the last few months planned it out, and then by the time Wednesday rolled around, we had a pretty cool level up of what we thought we were bringing to NASCAR.
Yeah. It was one of the most planned out trips we've ever been on.
Yeah,
For sure.
I agree.
Longest time to plan. We talked to her back in December originally. And yeah, we put it together in that many months. It kind of went dark for a little bit. It was
Yeah.
kinda like, oh, it probably would never happen.
Yeah. And even Talladega, like why
Yeah.
was it Talladega?
I think it's just because, well, it is because Talladega's top 2 biggest races during the NASCAR season. And it's one of the most historic tracks because it's the longest track.
Yeah.
2.66 miles, we learned.
And it has probably the rowdiest
Yeah.
drawing to it when it comes to
Mhm.
people like attending and watching.
Yeah. I believe we heard that there were 1,500 campers in the infield and about 7,000 total in the whole
Yeah. That's
area.
Insane. So
Think about that. How many 1,500 was inside? There's a lot
yeah.
for miles.
That would have been.
You couldn't see anything
life would have
but.
been a lot harder if we were on the outfield.
On the outside.
Yes. It would.
The outside world.
Yeah, so I think when we like found out we were going to Talladega, I don't know where the idea started of like let's take the RV, but you know, as you guys know, we've RV'd to Alabama last year. We were hit Alabama, Birmingham, Nashville. The year before we did Nashville. And I think when we talk about those states down there, maybe like the first thing that comes to mind is just like, like, can we actually do the drive? Because we just love breaking out the RV. And plus it was NASCAR. So I knew that my dad would also be gung-ho about taking that thing down and driving it, because he's a huge NASCAR fan. Like, I grew up watching NASCAR with him on Sunday. Like, every Sunday we'd watch. So I knew he'd be a fan of it, and that could be some leverage that I could convince him to pull it out to drive us down. So kind of the story went when we got the green light from my dad, and then I just kind of thought, like, kind of, we got No Bad now, our clothing brand's going. I was like, oh man, it'd be sweet to do something to the RV, like put a little sticker on it, surprise the guys. I think that'd be kind of a fun idea. So I talked to my dad, and I was like, just find out how much it costs to put like a decal on it.
Hello,
Rosie. This is our new guest.
Yep.
Actually, our new host.
Co-host.
Cuddy's taking care of her. When did you get her?
I got her last night.
Fresh.
So
Fresh.
she is, she's very small. She's doing pretty good so far.
Mm-hmm.
She just likes to whine a little bit.
She looks
Here and
tired.
there.
So he was like, back to the story, my dad was like saying how it costs a decent amount to do so. So it kind of like didn't really go much further than that. And then my dad told my uncle about it. And then my uncle told the guy that was wrapping stuff about this idea. And they're like, why don't you like do it? I'm like, well, because it's a lot of money. And then apparently apparently Amber's number one sponsor for her car is Icon. And that's when this whole entire plan took a shift.
For the better.
And
for
when
the
was
better.
and when was this? When you were gone?
That was still back here. It was like the day before I left.
Okay.
This
So
was
you're
probably
scheming a bit.
probably 2 weeks before the trip was when we found out about this.
It's quick.
Yes, we did not have much time, but this whole thing ties in with Icon being Amber's sponsor, being in the city of Winkler. Icon is a business that has RV parts. They manufacture those parts. So it makes sense to like have something to do with this NASCAR trip in an RV. Long story short, we took the plan to the Icon company and we said, can we wrap the RV? Can we make it like Amber's NASCAR? And I emailed Amber. I'm like, what do you think of this idea? And she's like, we've always talked about wrapping an RV before.
They always
I'm
talked about it too.
They had, yeah, they
the-
had talked about it. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Well, gonna see if I can make it happen. So I had been messaging Amber through email, getting some input, some design stuff from her car so that we could use it for the design. And then, had a little meeting with the owner of Icon back at home. This was like a week before now.
Wow.
And he gave it the green light, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's put Icon on the side. Let's get No Bad and the hockey guys on there. And that was kind of when
Amber.
and Amber.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when the creative direction just snowballed in like the span of a day. It went from almost nothing to like an actual design for this RV.
So
And it-
stars.
I didn't see any other wrapped RVs.
We were the only RV. We were the coolest
True.
looking RV there.
Not even like a driver. Obviously, they probably want to stay low and then not.
Yeah,
people
they don't want a big
They don't
fat
have a
head
big
on the
picture,
side.
but like there was no one else in the infield at least.
We were the only wrapped
Everything
RV.
else was the standard RV colors.
Only red RV.
Big time.
Yeah, we stuck out like a
We
sore
stuck
thumb.
out.
Yeah, so then about a week it took. After that happened, we had 6 days to wrap it, and the guy that was wrapping it was like, "This is gonna be tight."
He
This is gonna be
loved it,
a
though.
Tight timeline. Like we might not get this thing done, but we were like, we got to get it done by Tuesday.
How many hours did he work in those 6 days?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I would say, it's so tough. I would give it like 80 hours
Wow.
ish.
Wow.
Put some time in.
Let's say 80 hours. Yeah, put some time in. But yeah, there's one night I was wrapping that thing. I was up with him. I started with him at like 6, and then we went till 2 a.m.
Jeez.
And then he went home, and he
He kept
actually
rapping?
came back the next morning started at 8 already. I wasn't there with him at that morning, but he was. They worked hard to get that thing done, and it was really cool just for me to see it all, and I kind of documenting it and seeing how that thing got wrapped and stuff, and then I got to put you guys up on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, does he just have like some massive printing machine or something that makes those?
The printing thing is probably the size of like double the width of the couch, and it prints sheets off, so they're that wide, but the length can be as long as you want. So they do it so that the length is the height of the RV, but it's only as wide as what the printer is. So you need like many. The technology's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they can take that design from like the computer and actually make it on the RV is crazy. And then they can actually line everything up so that it flows and matches correctly. It's wild.
Well, it was
but
a true success.
It was a true
And
success.
a true surprise, because when we were waiting anxiously all day for that RV to come down, and we brought our stuff out to the side of the road, just kind of looking around, blah, blah, blah. And see out of the corner of my eye this big red bus looking thing. I'm like, well, that's weird. I did a double take. I was like, oh my gosh, it says Icon on it.
I was planning that surprise. I was so nervous actually driving that whole time from the border to get to you guys. I was just so nervous about how I was going to execute the best way for you guys to see it, where I could document your reaction. And I almost blew it when we had the RV parked outside, and these guys went out the back door when I went out the front. And
you were freaking out.
And then I saw them that they already had been outside before me, and I didn't even see them.
It
so
must
then
have been like 5-second difference.
Yeah.
Because Cuddy and Yelly walked
we missed
inside,
it.
and I stayed out to just like make sure the stuff
you're
was
watching
fine,
stuff.
and just kind of looking at my phone, and then you came running out of the door. You're like, oh no.
Did you see
Did
it?
anyone see this yet? I'm like, I glanced at it,
Dude.
but I'll pretend. I'll pretend.
We saw him in the hallway. Like when we went back up to grab another load, and we were coming down the hallway. Lawson comes like towards us, and we asked him like, "Hey man, like haven't seen you in a while," and you didn't say a single word, and we like looked at each other like, he seems kind of pissed today.
Yeah, we asked him. We wanted to know where the RV was gonna be parked so we could start hauling stuff down, and he just like
didn't
kept his
say a
head
word.
down and like walked right by us, and me and Yelly were just like, well, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, we thought it was weird, and then it all came out that you're nervous because you thought we saw the RV
It
already.
made sense.
I thought you were like faking it to me. Like I didn't know if you were playing dumb
Oh.
to me when you were asking that.
No,
Because I was
we were
like,
like,
oh, you for
for the
sure
next
saw
RV.
it. It's like you for sure saw it. Thankfully they didn't, and you had good reactions to that thing.
Well, that was quite the surprise. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
we had zero idea. I mean, we kind of sniffed it out a little bit, or not sniffed it out. We had an idea in the office the week before. We're like, kind of like thinking like, what's he gonna do? Like, because you asked for a QR code and you had all these like little hints, but they were like, no way he's gonna do anything. But yeah, it's
Not like that.
not
Yeah,
like
I thought it
that.
was just gonna be a single sticker or something.
Yeah.
Frizz's reaction was pretty good.
Yeah, I think
I-
you're the last one to see it.
Yeah. No, I was speechless.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And then we hit the road.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
drove 20. Well, I guess when you started, 22 hours in a wrapped RV.
Yeah.
You know, the whole weekend up until we got like back heading home, in my mind I was thinking, because I kept hearing 22 hours. I was like, oh, we got a 22-hour drive back to Minneapolis. So I was pleasantly surprised when I actually looked at the map on my phone heading home. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's only 16 or whatever.
It's a little less for us. 16 hours, but still, it's a long time.
Long time.
Long
But
time
yeah,
to camper.
Paul, Lefty, and Bob, they picked up Bob Cudmore on the way, picked us up. Those guys are champs trucking through the night.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it's pretty hard, I think. I can't imagine what it's like being the driver. Like, for us, like,
And they
we had
don't
to
have
sit
anything.
back.
Like, it's just quiet. They don't have any music
It's just
going
their thoughts,
on.
man.
Did they
They're old
sleep?
school.
Did they sleep?
Barely.
cat
I could have
naps,
heard
probably.
them say they dozed off here and there. They were doing hour shifts.
And
Hour
then
shifts. What did my dad go on the side of the road and hit the
He hit the
rumbles a
road
bit.
strips
yeah.
to wake
Well,
up Lefty.
especially because I'd be on the floor. I was on the floor on the way down when everyone decided to go to bed. So anytime there's anything going on, I would feel it like there was like we were about to crash or something.
Uh-huh.
Like any sort of stop.
Yeah, he hit the rumbles just to wake up Lefty.
Yeah.
Instead of giving him an elbow.
and then he
Shook him.
played it off like oh, hey, you're awake now. You want to
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
if you're in the passenger seat, you just pretend to sleep as long as possible.
Yeah. The best was, it was like there wasn't enough like actual comfy spots to really sprawl out and sleep. So I had one, Cuddy had one. You're on the floor. The rest of you guys are in the bed. And Cuddy's dad, Bob Cudmore, he sat at the table, probably the least comfy spot on the RV the
chairs
whole
straight
way
up,
down.
the back is
dining room
straight up.
chairs.
And I was like in and out sleeping, but every time I did wake up, I would look back and he would just be like staring out the window or just like staring forward.
Yeah.
Never did I see him close his eyes
He
once.
probably got 10 minutes of sleep that ride down there. And he felt great the next day. He said he was pumped.
Yeah, sheer
Adrenaline.
adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline.
That's good.
We got to woke up in about Nashville at like 7 a.m.
Bad traffic there.
Pretty bad. It was a little stop and go. I think that shook everyone awake.
Yeah.
And made it to Birmingham by, say, 11-ish. Is that fair?
Yeah, probably.
11, 12. So we stopped at Buc-ee's for a good 40 minutes.
Yeah, that was a good stop.
I always got to stop there.
Mm-hmm. And got to see Johnny and Taver
That was
in the Walmart parking lot in some city just outside of Birmingham.
Yeah, it had been since my wedding.
Yeah.
Since we saw
Yeah.
those guys.
It's crazy because that's like last summer, but it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like that long. But
Got a nice
Really
meal
has
at
been.
Chick-fil-A with them.
yeah,
They just wrapped up their season, so they were, I guess, Johnny was heading home, so their bowl season had just ended and had some time to stop and say hey. And
Well, yeah, the Walmart that we stopped at literally had the identical setup to the Superior Walmart where we went to school and where we had all shopped together probably 200 times in our years going to school. So it was kind of funny just wandering around the Walmart talking like we were back in college.
you just knew where everything was.
Yes,
right away
it
because
was
of that.
literally the
same.
exact same.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
yeah. It's funny because I think the dads at that point finally got a taste of like we're almost there because like we were in Walmart picking up the last supplies, catching up with the guys, and we come out and they're all in lawn chairs like having a beer.
Having a beer in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, enjoying themselves. But yeah, we were how far away from Talladega?
Probably another hour-ish, something like that, less. And then, yeah. What was your initial reaction rolling up to the Speedway when we were waiting in line to get to the RV lot?
Excited. It was excitement. It was like the anticipation of you can see when you pull up, you can see the track, but the wall's so high that you can't see inside. So you're just, it's almost like you're rolling into
Unknown.
like a closed dome. It's not closed, but it's like this thing that there's a new world in there, and you're about to roll through and enter into it, and it's just a different type of like world that's not like the outside, and that's kind of how it felt when you just see hundreds of campers laid out,
Yeah.
the track.
Took us a little bit to get our spot. I don't even know
was
what
hard
the
to
heck
find.
happened.
We had
Or how
probably
we
the
found
closest
it.
spot to the entrance, but it was just like
Lefty sniffed it out.
Lefty. He was the bloodhound.
But I was
thing.
it was so impressive how they were managing all those vehicles coming in.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you go in, you go through a big ticket booth. They come on the RV to count the bodies, make sure you're not cheating the
smuggling any
system,
people in.
and then yeah, you just go from there. But
Yeah. My first reaction was like just seeing all the other campers and setups as we were rolling in. Like there was people that have very, very nice RVs, like very nice, and then there's other ones that, you know, like they're purposely bringing in kind of a shittier beat down one just because like it's cool and whatnot. But yeah, it was cool to seeing like everyone rolling in with like their unique setup.
Well,
yeah.
Some people have buses. Some people have like tractor looking things. Some people have their own custom roof to watch from. So they
Yeah.
have
it's like a boat dock.
yeah, there's so much variety because they all have their custom built thing for that race specifically. And I think that, and like we realized right away, it was like, oh yeah, there's people here that have been here like
Veterans.
5 to 10 times that they have their setup and everything custom to what the event is. And then there's us like the first time being there. And I think it just goes to show that when you're a rookie there at those events, like you don't come prepared the same way as what these other guys do.
We
And
were rookies too, and we were some of the softer campers as well because there was people actually tenting as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if we
sleeping in
could have
the
survived the
cars.
tent.
I would not
Tenting's
have.
The
hard.
tent would have been very hard there, and it rained a lot too.
Yeah.
So tenting would have sucked.
It would have been tough.
We were spoiled.
I would have slept in the hotel with the dads if we were tenting.
Tenting would have sucked.
Yeah, realistically, we probably had the least amount of stuff that an RV.
And we
could
still
have
had
brought
a
in.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, there's people.
The
with,
fire,
like-
we got a fire. The fire pit was a nice upgrade.
That
that
was
was a
fun.
good upgrade. But other than that, like,
The dads really wanted a fire pit, so they went and picked one up.
yeah,
And of course, they had to buy wood on the side of the road.
the wood was fake wood. Wouldn't burn.
That's
Takes
still a
forever.
mystery to me how they allow campfires in a full lot with engines and gasoline and propane all over
Yeah,
the
I
place.
feel like they just can't control them and tell them no.
Yeah,
If you tell them no, it'll just make it even worse.
true. People were smoking on the freaking pit road.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was weird.
that
hey?
that caught me off guard too. It's
Yeah.
like you think of any other building in the U.S. like you can't do like smoke inside and whatnot, but they're like 10 feet away from gas tanks and
Highly
You can't even smoke at a
flammable
gas
gas.
station.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Crazy.
think that doesn't make sense. I wonder if that was allowed or you just snuck that
You
in.
could just do it. I don't know.
Wait till you
So
get
many
caught.
people to control that.
We
they
only got
can't tell
yelled at
anyone.
one time, and that was in the last race and like the last.
No, and the
few
funny
laps.
thing was, so at that very moment, that same lady, when she was getting mad at us for like being in the wrong spot, her like helper came up to your dad and Lefty, and he was checking their badges because they had like their badges were flipped around and it only had like the day before.
Right.
And your dad and Lefty look at each other like they're like laughing because like what's the point of checking? There's like 5 laps left in the race. Like at that point, like doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It was funny. I saw the guy pull the badge right off of like Paul's stomach.
Uh-huh.
He like went up to it, pulled it, flipped it around, and Paul just sitting there with his hands in his pockets, staring at him.
And there's 5 laps left in the
Yeah.
whole entire weekend.
But yeah, so we'll stick to Thursday. We set up camp. What else did we do Thursday?
Wandered around.
Yeah, wandered around, I guess.
Checked
Wandered
out-
around, met
che-
some people, met
Yeah.
the Icon team finally in person, met Amber's parents.
Yeah. We really didn't do much.
Well,
Didn't do much Thursday.
I think the first taste of what Thursday was getting the feel for what the Talladega Boulevard was all about
Mhm.
because that was one of the most
Talked
that was
about.
the center of attention
Yeah.
when you're in Talladega is the Talladega Boulevard. And the funny thing is before we went there, I thought that was an actual street like in the city of Talladega. Like, I
Right.
didn't know
Uh-huh.
this was
Yeah.
like cuz what the Talladega Boulevard is just a strip with campers on each side
in the infield.
in the infield, not a street in a town with
Bars
actual
and
buildings and
restaurants.
bars and restaurants. And that was the first time I realized I was like, okay, this is people's custom made bars with their campers, with their own music, their own setup and
Stages.
stages.
Flags, lights,
Yeah.
smoke machines.
It's basically
Yeah.
the street from how I would describe it is like a bunch of people trying to one up each other with music, with
It's a
bar
mass-
setups.
Yeah. Just like a giant tailgate that
Big
goes on
tailgate.
for 4 days.
Uh-huh. Like, yeah, it's one of the most unique things I've seen. Just like because you technically can't sell liquor there. Like it's not like a bar, but they have bar setups and they give you drinks. And you just tip the people. It's
Yeah.
like the currency there. You tip them.
And they control it at night. There's literally a gate and like
Mhm.
security and cops so people don't just start driving up and down that.
Yeah.
And you can walk around freely.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we did Thursday. Was just check that out.
It was kind of dead
Pretty
a
laid
little
back.
bit.
Uh-huh.
Saturday was the night for it, but got a taste of it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And there's still people sitting there with their speakers on 1,000 volume, and they would be sitting right in
Yeah.
front of their speakers, and the music would be so loud. Even we walking across the like on the street, it would hurt. But there's a
Yeah.
That
guy.
hurt way more than the cars.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was louder than the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys have no hearing. There's no way that.
How do they
can
feel
hear.
today? Like, how are their heads?
Their heads are jumbled.
Like, how can you? When can you go back to normal hearing? Do you
never.
ever?
You never.
It's just ruined forever. Till next
permanently
year you
deaf.
damage it some more.
Yeah.
Well, Friday morning we woke up and actually let's talk a little bit about the card game we played every night first for sleeping arrangements.
Well,
Because that was always a big rivalry at the end of the night.
by that time of the night, that was the either you went to bed happy or kind of pissed off.
So every
until you fell
night,
asleep.
every night we played this game. I think we played it last year on the RV2. Was splitting the deck, and it's very simple. Whoever draws the highest cards get to pick their sleeping spot.
First pick.
There's 2 people in the nice bed. There was 1 pull-out bed, 2 blow-up mattresses, and a
couch.
couch that laid down also.
Yeah.
And we had 5 of us the first night, and then 6 when Trey came. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was always a adrenaline pulling cards.
So bed was the comfiest. Pull out and couch are interchangeable. Those are both comfy. And then you just didn't want to get stuck with the air mattresses.
Yeah.
Basically, those are the two worst spots.
And then by the end of it, Cuddy and Trey loved the air mattresses.
Yeah, they
I know.
What?
Did you hear me trying to tell them to go to the bed on the last night? And you guys just would not go to bed.
Yeah. No, I remember that. You were like, well, if you're not going to take it, I will.
They were fighting for it.
I always got I was like a really bad card drawer that weekend. First night, I get the air mattress. The one guy on there, and the thing that you guys told me, you guys just bought these air mattresses.
$14.
Yeah, $14. They're
And
cheap.
I wake up at probably 4 a.m. and this thing is sunken in. It has half the 50% air. So kind of like a water bed. So if you step on it, it goes up and down type thing. So that did suck.
Didn't it pop?
Uncomfy?
Didn't it?
Pretty uncomfortable.
Didn't it deflate?
It deflated somehow. Yeah, I should have set it up myself, but whoever did caused the deflation.
It was Frizz.
The two
No,
white
Frizz's
sweatshirts right
distraction.
here.
On me. I
Frizz was
never
distracting
touched
me when I was blowing that thing up.
And top it off, in the middle of the night, Frizz steps on my mattress too, makes me go up, and then he trying to get to the bathroom. And then
He had a
almost
hot flash.
killed me. He
that
said,
was
What if
not,
he fell on
not
you?
by choice. Took everything in me to lean forward instead of sideways.
Sleeping in the RV is definitely it's a unique feeling. Trying to falling asleep and waking up because the temperatures are always very extreme.
Yeah.
It's hot or
It's
cold.
either really cold or really hot.
Yeah.
It's like you could hear basically everything going on no matter what. I don't know. It's cool. But that's what you said earlier too. That's why it takes a toll camping.
you don't truly get as good of a sleep as if you
Uh-huh.
were in a bed.
No.
But
Our alarm clock was always the neighbor's dog each morning.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
right
Oh,
around
yeah.
7:30 every morning.
Dogs would come out and start
The German
yapping,
Shepherd.
and that's our cue to go to the showers, basically.
Yeah, so we woke up Friday morning and had to experience the community showers for the first day.
They
And
are a lot better than I
Me
thought.
too.
I thought
if
they're
you
gonna
got
be
flip-flops on,
gross.
you're fine.
Yeah.
The first day was great.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of luxurious, honestly.
Warm. It's really warm water,
Mhm.
good pressure.
No line really the first day. Yeah, got a nice hot shower in. One shower a day at Talladega.
Yep.
And then got picked up by the NASCAR team and got to meet the social media team, and we were head out to our first adventure, which was walking up the turn 4 banking.
That was one of the coolest
I think
things.
that was a great way to kick it all
Yeah.
off.
Mhm. And so you may have seen the video that a lot of people have seen now,
got a
but
lot.
Yeah, what's it
Live
at?
view check.
like 20 million. And you don't realize this on TV, or if you're not really a NASCAR, like people who are NASCAR fans know this, but when you walk to a super speedway like Talladega, and this isn't all tracks, but they have banking, and the track is actually angled, and this was 33 degrees and 3 stories high.
Yep.
Yep.
Cars rip around that, and obviously they can do it because they're going a certain speed, but the challenge and the famous thing to do is walk up it, and we
Yep.
did it.
The funny thing was, before, like, a week before, our perception of what the track was like we thought we would be able to rollerblade on it. We thought we'd be able to like run on it, and you can't do any of that stuff on those corners.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
Like
that
not
was.
even, you can't even do it.
I know that was funny. That was actually a content idea that we had. Was rollerblading.
We
Doing
were
a
so
lap,
naive.
They
doing
probably,
a lap
they probably
on-
were laughing at that when we sent that idea.
Doing
in.
a lap on rollerblades. That would be so
be
tough.
impossible, I
Yeah,
think.
it would be impossible.
Yeah. And
That-
then
You'd have to have a jetpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, but yeah, that was awesome because then we got to shoot the pucks up there. Made some puck marks.
Yeah,
on
I
the
said
top
that we were
wall.
probably the only people in history to leave a
Yeah,
puck mark
that was
on the
probably
race
the
wall.
first
Yeah.
puck that's ever been, maybe the first hockey stick that's ever been in that whole entire place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that video is currently sitting at 18.3 million views, and what kind of helped doing this like so early on when we saw that video took off, it was kind of just like a little pick me up buzz that we were riding throughout the rest of the weekend as it started to keep growing.
It was the funniest thing. We laid down to sleep, and Frizz goes, "Hey, Will, guess how many views our video's at?" I was like, "What?" I was like, 1,000 probably. He's like, 9 million.
Like, what?
So insane. It's like one of those videos. It always happens that when you post it and you just like don't expect anything and you wake up to it.
Yeah,
Like,
been a while.
I don't know if you
Crazy.
saw the text until the next morning or not, but
Yeah.
That's when I found out. It was like 2 a.m. First told me.
like that's such a jolt of just like like just good energy when you see a video do
Yeah.
that.
But then after the banking, which was great. I mean, that was a top moment of the trip. It was a great way to start it off. We one of my favorite things about the trip also was our golf cart caravans that we always seemed to be on.
Yeah,
Those were great.
It was amazing. Like we still probably averaged 20,000 steps a day, but with the golf carts,
It
I
would
mean,
have
without
probably
the golf
40
carts, it would our feet would have been double pain. But so they were great driving us
wouldn't have
around.
been able to survive without those things.
No,
Yep.
for sure not. And they were lucky enough to get us 2 golf carts basically for every trip. And
Yeah.
right after the banking, got a phone call from Mr. Rooney. He was sitting outside the gates waiting for us to get him into the infield and went on a goose chase for the guy. He's sitting under a tree. He's been up since 4 a.m.
in a hoodie, hood
just
up.
gassed. People are ripping by him to get into the infield. And we found him, caravan back, and that's when the true NASCAR fan joined the trip.
Yep.
We took him along because we know Trey loves NASCAR. He was the most knowledgeable NASCAR guy that we had in the group, I would say. So he was the most interested too, which I think is why he was like chirping everyone's ear off just because of how many questions he had for people like Amber. He had questions for the pit crew. He had who else did he ask? A bunch of stuff.
Oh,
for,
just
like,
so much. Yeah.
Oh,
pit
like the
crew.
driver. He knew
Even
every
the
driver that was walking by.
Even the First Form sponsor guys, he was just yapping
Chewing
their
their
ears
ear
off,
off.
asking questions because they work with other famous athletes.
Yeah.
He made friends with a pit crew member. I guess we all did. That guy was cool. But it was nice that Trey was able to make it as fast as he did from the Birmingham airport because got back, had a quick lunch, and we got to go see Amber Balkan and the Icon Racing Team practice. And
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah, it's like I think at that point, like after we did the whole walking up the track, like this is like around the time we realized the amount of access that we were like able to have at this event was insane. We got like not only did we get to go on the track, but we got to be like basically touching the race cars and got to see like all the behind the scenes of what a driver does before the race, during the race. Like it, like the access was insane.
Mm-hmm. It was something about too going to that practice round and seeing just a empty grandstand and
Yeah.
the teams taking their turns practicing. Such a
That was the first
cool
time we
thing.
saw them like ripping around at like full speed.
right up on pit road, which I think pit road might be one of the coolest places to stand in a sporting
Yeah.
event.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely up
It's
there.
just- yeah, I don't know. It's something
It
about
does-
it.
I don't get how
You're
they
basically
allow.
mixing team with fans with owners all within like a arm's distance.
It's
of one
like
another.
sitting
Yeah.
courtside.
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
that's a good
It's the
comparison.
closest
I'd
thing.
say.
It's like because in hockey, obviously, it's divided. You're not,
Yeah.
you're not
Mhm.
standing on the ice. But pit road, you are right there with the pit crew. And the first time that we saw a lap go around, I was hooked
Oh yeah,
because it was so cool and it sounded so cool, and they were just in and out and them shooing cars like this group turn to practice and then they come off and then the next 6 cars or whatever go out to practice. And this is
Yeah.
just the ARCA series, which is what Amber drives in. It's not quite the top dogs yet, but like being able to see that up close and then go to the pit or the garage. There's so much access down there.
it's one of those things that like Will mentioned it earlier about like for me like it's the same way. Like I only watched NASCAR on TV and didn't have much perception, but like TV doesn't do justice of how fast we're actually going when you see them in person. How fast we're going, and then on top of that, just like I always thought it was like funny. Like I know I just said it, but there's porta potties in the pits lane, and I had it twice where like I was in line to go to the porta potty, and out comes one of the workers that are flipping the tires for like the car, and then I'm going in the bathroom right after him. I was like, you just don't see any of that stuff on TV. I didn't know that there's fans down there,
Yeah.
right by the guys that are changing tires.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that you could, if you were a fan, like you could go in and probably take a tire from like Jimmy Johnson and like throw it into someone else's pit.
Jersey Mike.
I mean, we picked up one
You
of the
could.
tires.
You
We picked one of the tires up after
Yeah.
like one of the cars got.
And that's like,
yeah.
and that's a weird thing of how they're so loose with it and how you could be talking to the guys in the pit, that are doing the pit crew, and you could like distract them potentially, or you could be, you know, half a step over the line that they draw, but that's causing them to, you know, you to be in their way for something. When it's when I feel like that part of the race is, to me, such a big deal of how fast they can execute their job, but they're kind of just chilling the whole time while they wait for that person to come up, their driver to come. They're just hanging out, talking to each other, probably talking to the owners up in the little deck, and talking to fans.
Because it was definitely a little emptier during the ARCA practice, and I don't believe there was a truck series race. Well, there wasn't, but I mean maybe there was somewhere else over the weekend. But so it goes ARCA, truck series, Xfinity series, and then Cup series. Just learned all this the other day.
Yeah,
so
same.
Just showcasing it with everyone. But so on rest of Friday, we just kind of chilled out, did the Boulevard again.
Yep.
It rained pretty hard Friday.
Yeah.
But then Saturday was the first race day, and we got to experience Amber's race, the ARCA race, and then the Xfinity race, which is still very popular for for not being the top. Like usually in other leagues, like the minors, like AAA baseball or the AHL, people, you know, it's there, but you don't really know about it. But everyone who's a NASCAR fan knows people in the Xfinity series. And that's because those people are being groomed to join the Cup series one day. But what do you think of race day? We got to experience 2 full races. The intensity definitely was up a notch from the day prior.
Yeah.
And just walking in to see Amber hit the track, like you could feel it. And like being part of a racing team too, that we were part of the Icon racing team. And
Yeah.
you know, you feel like you got skin in the game. Like you're like, holy smokes, this is our driver. She's got to win.
Yeah, and that turned into something that I didn't expect for us to feel like we were a part of their team, in terms of like that. For example, when she was walking up from her trailer, you know, you walk down that lane because your car's already parked on the track. So she's walking up, and we're just, you know, she's with, I think, her parents and stuff, but we're there on the sideline, like videotaping. I remember taping her, and then all of us cheered, like, "Go Amber!" Like as in she's just walking by. But then she just comes straight up to us and be like, "Guys, like, let's
go."
And like, so then we actually just start walking with her. We're like, "Oh, I didn't know that we could do that."
It's basically like comparable to, like, let's say Stanley Cup NHL Playoffs are going on right now, and it's like us walking out of the tunnel with the team that go onto the bench. Like that's like how you would compare that to. Is what we did.
We were out there like probably 2 minutes before they got in their cars, and you can just hang out,
taking
and took
photos,
pictures, and it's pretty wild. Those drivers really have to do 2 different modes.
Yeah. No, I told her mom later in the day too. I was like, you know, we all are feeling like we were actually part of this team. I mean, we stood by her parents and the sponsors and the owners right in her pit area, and like, that was our team. She took 7th too, which is great.
Well.
And Lefty and the dads all had their headsets on. They're listening in to everything. And
that's pretty cool that they have that option. You can listen into the drivers talking with their pits.
Yeah,
that's unique.
I never did that. What did it sound like?
So you could.
I mean, there is a lot of radio static.
There was, but you could have it on scanning. So basically, when anyone in the race talked, it would come up. I mean, it's super quick. But
basically, just
so
like
cool.
They say like 5-second things, like, okay, come up, moving over, take it.
You got 2 feet here, take it. Come to pit soon.
Like, how crazy is that? You got 2 feet here, go and take it.
Oh yeah, they drive so close behind each other.
But yeah, I guess it was a very successful race for Team Icon.
Yeah,
taking 7th. I think she's
top
4th in the standings right now, which is great.
And we got to talk to her right after.
That was cool too.
That's when Trey had he was asking all the good questions, stuff that like we all like wanted to know, but just maybe didn't know how to ask it.
You know what's one of the coolest things too is those cars and how much they actually take care of that car.
Yeah, it's
immediately after the race, all the cars are lined up in the hauler area, and the pit crews are already messing with it, tweaking it, taking things out.
5 people that work on it at once,
just full time.
Well, it's
getting
like
ready for the hauler.
Dude, it's so crazy, like all the setup it takes to get like the car into the race, and then once the race is over, they're right away taking it apart and getting it ready to leave.
Do you think packing up a podcast is hard?
Packing
up a pit crew.
And she was saying too, explaining how her job is so dependent on like her team. It's not when you're a driver, it's not just you in the car that the team is centered around, but it's more even, like where she relies on the spotter just as much, like on the person taking care of her car. Like that can be a big thing, and
it's a lot of variables.
Yeah, there's more. I guess what she was saying was how there's more of a team component than what people think, and that it actually is super important that her and the people in her team are like get along, and they don't like they have good chemistry essentially, because a lot goes into that.
A lot of trust in trust.
Yeah. But what do you think the biggest, like we learned a lot from her after that race. What's one thing that you learned about either her car or like the whole NASCAR part?
I mean, I thought it was interesting, just like I don't know, when Trey asked that question, like, what do you do if you need to go to the bathroom? What do you do if you need to get something to drink? Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. Like
you don't think about it.
You don't think about it.
So
like,
I heard that it was hot. I heard that it was hot, but I didn't realize it was 140 degrees for 2 hours.
It's like a sauna. Like, you're literally in a sauna. Yeah, I guess the water one, it's like you either have two options. You either have a water bottle or a little water bag with a spout that like hangs on your like chest area. But you don't drink it until there's a yellow flag. So it's like you're not able to grab your bottle and take a drink when you're driving, obviously.
Not a road trip.
It's like if there's a crash or like a yellow flag, that's the only time you can drink it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. They actually don't even have speedometers in
That
their
too,
car.
yeah.
They literally just do RPMs, or that if they go into like a green flag or the pit area, they have like a sensor that like tells them if they're going too fast or going too slow, because they all have to be the same speed when there's certain things going on. So
yeah, I know there's different rules per series. Like I remember we tried to time the ARCA pit.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a modified pit stop
where everyone gets that.
Where everyone gets
time.
1 minute to pit.
And we're like timing it, like thinking it's gonna be 9 seconds.
Because in the Cup Series,
know.
it's like 8-9 seconds.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't realize that until that moment.
One thing I learned while she was racing, because she was in the lead pack and then she kind of fell behind and then went solo. So she was explaining how the only way she can possibly go from being like a solo driver to catching that lead pack is that she needs like 4 cars to ride with her, so that they can, like, so that her speed can go fast enough to actually catch the speed of the front, which was cool. And that puts kind of the reason why NASCAR is a very like skilled sport is because someone explained that really well, is that good drivers can go, the speed of what the car goes, but the best drivers and the great ones have the ability to go faster than what the car actually goes through drafting and through making sure that you're catching the right lanes and stuff. So they actually go faster than what the capability of the car is, and that's how you can get ahead.
That was a perception that was broken for me. Is like when I thought that, like watching NASCAR growing up, it's like if you lose the pack, I thought it was like, that driver's not good. It's like they literally can't catch up. Like there's no way like they can possibly catch the 15 cars ahead of them without other cars to push them.
And each series has different engines. They're all equal in the per series, but that's exactly why the best drivers only, if you draft the best, you win.
Yeah,
or you'll be up.
It's
top.
not, you can't win by yourself. Like you actually
all the
need to
tools
work
are the
with
same, but it's just the skill of actually driving. It's just crazy. That's probably the hardest sport to play. It's got to be.
It's
be a part of. Do you play it? Do you play NASCAR?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
You race NASCAR? Yeah. Then the Xfinity Series race was super cool. We got to talk to a pit crew and hold some tires, which you get a feel for it a little bit. And we learned. Here's another thing we learned was a lot of pit crews are former Division I athletes.
90% of them.
Yep, they get recruited. And actually, last night I watched the first episode of the NASCAR show on Netflix.
Nice.
Oh, really?
And it showed at, I think it was Hendrick Motorsports or something. It showed pit crew practice.
That's interesting.
And then it's just this massive facility. Car comes in, change tires, move on.
That's cool.
And they time them, and they get mad at each other if they're practicing bad or.
Really?
But yeah.
So funny.
All the guys are huge former football players.
Yeah. Did that guy say they go to like the universities or something and they like recruit them, like as if you're getting recruited to play on the football team?
You have to go to you do that, you get recruited, but you get recruited for pit crew school.
Yeah.
and then you have to make it out of there because there's only 5 or 6 in a crew at a time.
So funny.
And like the crew chiefs are all like mechanical engineer, masters, doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, smart guys.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Smart chaps.
that's
I
why
feel
she
like-
said it's a team sport.
Yeah, because I always figured that when the pit crew comes and they can, change a tire so fast, like always get it right on the money with the bolts and stuff, that they must just be the best mechanics to have the skill to do that, not like flipping it around where you're actually learning that part and
Right.
like you're athlete first and then you actually get so good where you can do that all fast.
They're not
I
motorheads.
never would have thought that.
But yeah, we would have looked so dumb trying to carry those tires over the wall.
It would have been all
Yeah.
10 of us. Like
And
you
those guys
said.
just hop over, rip around the other side of the car.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So then another thing that I learned about it was the tanks of gas that they use has like it's 96 pounds, and the weight moves, like there's little compartments so the weight doesn't just like push over to one side too far or push over to it like somehow balances it out
Wow.
as it's going down into the car.
Interesting.
And they have to throw that thing 96 pounds over your shoulder and place it in there.
I mean,
It's a
we're not
pretty,
cut out for it, boys.
It's a pretty easy place to get content
Yeah.
because there's always something going on.
Yep, that's kind of around the time when we started documenting dads in the wild, I would say.
Right. Because like even during like in a hockey game during intermission, you kind of at a standstill for content. You got to wait for the Zamboni. But here, if there's a stoppage, you get the pit crew,
Yep.
or you get someone over here doing something like. And think, at the big race, there's about 100,000 people there.
Yep.
80,000 in the grandstand, and then
Mhm.
however many out.
Yeah.
In the,
That's a lot of people.
so many people. There's always something going on. And what do you guys think of the grandstand?
Thought it was
When
the
we checked it
biggest
out.
structure that I've ever seen at any sporting event in my life.
Just towers and towers, and it's like half a
Yeah.
mile long.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that like it's not all not all connected. It seemed like because like there's so many different stairwells that get up to like whatever seat you're in. We could barely find our spot.
Crazy.
But yeah, this went on forever.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's not fancy. It's very
It's not comfy.
it's but much just a structure,
Yeah.
and then they put their own concessions, and there's little things like that.
It's practical.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
very
simple.
very practical.
And we actually got down to go to like right where they're ripping by on the corner.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like you could just walk down, be like walking down to the glass at a hockey game, like right when the play's going
Did you
on.
feel it?
Yeah, what'd the wind feel
Yeah.
like?
Oh yeah.
I
I
didn't go
got
down.
hit with the dust. every time dust would hit you.
Crazy.
There's
And,
people
like-
sitting down there, no earplugs. It's so
And like
loud.
the video I took down there, I could actually like truly hear it. Like it's like cutting the air. I
Huh.
didn't realize it till like I watched it yesterday, but they're absolutely buzzing.
Yeah. Another thing about the access is how many people were on the finish line before the Cup Series race.
1,000 plus.
So
lot.
many people walking on the
Wandering
track.
around.
So that's where they do the driver intros. They put
Yeah.
a stage up right on the finish line.
Sign
People
the track.
yeah, write your name on it.
Mhm.
I thought that was one of the coolest things.
Mm-hmm.
Now looking back as we talk about that, signing the track.
It's a very accessible sport for fans, and
Yeah.
you can get a full experience for not like it's pretty.
I think
cheap.
that's why people get hooked when you see it in person.
Like even the food's
like-
cheap, $3 chicken
Yeah.
or $4 chicken or something like that, and then you have access to one thing, but then you can go and do 8 other things based
Uh-huh.
on your ticket. Like
Oh yeah.
Well, even we're also didn't. This was one of my favorite spots, and I know it was one of Cuddy's too. Doing the classic, we all climbed up on top of the RV and got
Yeah,
got
that
to
was
see
great.
them buzz around.
that was really cool.
fun.
Being able to see the whole track
Mhm.
is something
Yeah.
else, but it's so far away.
You guys gotta
Yeah.
find high ground if you want to see the cars.
It's like a
ripping.
mile away.
Yeah.
Need binoculars up there.
Oh, that'd be smart.
Then you could just follow it around, go in circles.
Yeah. The one thing I wish I would have learned more is what like a good move is. I don't truly understand what makes a good move
Yeah, that's a good point.
or the stages. Like I didn't realize when we were in the grandstand, it was the last lap of stage 2 or something, and everyone started
It's like an
standing up.
intermission.
I
Yeah.
was like, what's going on? Why is everyone standing?
It's their one little break time.
And then that was because they get more points for winning stage.
Yeah,
What if you won
people
more
cheered
points?
at
What
the
if you got an
end.
extra goal for winning a period?
Yeah. That's the people sitting in front of us in the grandstands. Like they were doing fist pumps like as the cars were going around. So it's like, for us, like you just said, it's like I didn't understand why
I
they
was
were fist
sitting there
pumping.
and-
Just looked like a normal like lap, but they were seeing some moves that we weren't seeing.
Who do you guys think you have a favorite racer or favorite team that you saw and was like, oh, they look pretty cool?
I thought there was 2 cars that were really cool. I really liked the Bass Pro Shop car. I thought that one was sick, and then obviously I think we're all gonna say the Jordan's car.
Yeah, the winner.
Yeah.
The winner,
45.
45. That was probably the coolest looking car out there.
Yeah.
Only
Well,
like white one, I think.
Actually, I like the Tootsie's one. That was a nice
Yeah,
one.
that was
was
cool.
Really nice.
He didn't race too well. He was on my team.
Oh.
99.
That's tell them about how you saw MJ. Or we all did, but you gotta.
Yeah.
That was unexpected because we knew that Michael Jordan owned a team, but the person that we were with from NASCAR said that she was always he would always come in, pop into a box, and then get out of there, and you would never
That
see
was
him.
his first time he ever saw them win.
Yeah, that was the
In
first. That's what they
person.
all.
That's
they,
so cool.
I retweeted that.
So
Yeah,
where was he
so-
when you saw him?
So first of all, we saw Michael Jordan before the race. As soon as he climbed up into his little box area where like the command center is and stuff, got a good video of him there. I was like 5 feet away from him, and then as soon as I heard that MJ's car won, I got a video of the car buzzing around like doing its little donuts. And then I saw him like starting to walk, and then by now we knew where the entrance was, where these people would go to. So then me and Trey went straight to where like the walking path is, like got as close as we get. And then I look and I just see him walking right
Did you
by.
get him?
Everyone else was like, Jordan, Michael. And then I just point at Trey, Michael Jordan. He goes, wow.
That's crazy.
That was cool seeing him up in the pit booth.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like you said, he doesn't go to all of them. That was the first one he saw in person. you
Yeah.
said?
First win.
Wow.
And we also, I can't forget about Brianna Chicken Fry and Grace
Oh, yeah,
O'Malley
I met them.
Yep. Yep. They
around
are.
that time.
They're busy.
They're busy. Yeah, I was able to. Me and Trey were able to get into the RV camper on Saturday night because we said we had to go pee, and I did, and then ended up just hanging out in there. Talked to Dana Beers for a while. Had a little cheers with Grace, and then honestly, I thought we were gonna see them more throughout the rest of the night, but then we kind of lost.
Yeah, we didn't see
went
them at all
split
then after
ways,
that.
Yeah, and it was raining and stuff, and
Cold.
yeah, but it was still cool to see them because we did have that as a goal going into the weekend to talk to them for a second.
Yeah.
I guess we did talk to him for a second. Not
Yeah.
about much.
Not
Had a
much
photo, though.
longer.
No.
Nope.
Were you a little starstruck, Yelly?
Yeah, I was pretty pumped. I was definitely pumped. That was like one of the more nervous I've been in front of like another like celebrity person. I was nervous, and then my girlfriend was really pumped. And when I sent her the photo of the picture we took with him,
Well, you got the combo because do you think it was Grace or was it Bree that made you?
it was
Or was it
Bree.
a combo?
No, it was mainly Bree, but obviously both of them was really cool. Brianna Chicken Fry.
Well, hopefully you run into them again so you can
Yeah.
ask them a few questions next time.
Well, you know, her boyfriend, old Zach Bryan's coming to U.S. Bank in August, so maybe we'll see them again then. Maybe a
Maybe.
goal.
But yeah, I think we should get into NASCAR.
NASCAR hooked us.
Let's get a
We're
no
hooked.
bad car.
yeah, I think the racing space is a space that I would love to be a part of more. To
Mhm.
summarize that whole weekend, I think that's my thoughts on a NASCAR and that sport. Surprised me. I think a lot of people would be surprised if they went to a race and learned more about it. It's just that it's one of those things that's hard to do when you're, especially in Minnesota. Like, when are
Yeah.
you going to get to a race? And
Yeah, that was the one thing I was saying. It was just like, it makes sense why now for me, just like seeing like super fans. Like I feel like NASCAR fans are like super fans, and it makes sense to me now why, after like experiencing it for the first time, I get why people love it.
Mm-hmm. It's special.
Very special.
It's cool. There's so many people that are diehard fans. So many happy people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool. Like
I
before
never met
the
anyone who
race.
was rude or anything.
No,
No.
before the race, all the drivers are walking around. They're just ripping out signatures to the kids and stuff, and you can just tell that those
dude,
kids are just
how
fired
funny was
up.
it when we were standing by Kyle Busch, and him and his like PR person or whatever walked by, and I was like directly staring like right at him, and he didn't look up once. And if I didn't move, I think he would have just ran into me, and I would have got kicked out.
Ran you over.
It was just like he was like walking this way and then walking this way. I was like, didn't know which way to go.
Yeah.
Didn't look up once.
What did Cuddy's
Signatures.
dad say to that one driver?
That
When-
was the one. He said
Cuddy's dad said something to Kyle.
I have it on video. We could plug it in, but it was something like, "Love you, Kyle."
Yeah,
To
yeah,
the
he's
extent
like,
to that.
He was like, "Go get him out there," like something like that. It's
Mm.
hilarious.
Rowdy. That's his nickname, Kyle. It's Rowdy Bush.
And then how about the Mark Martin jacket that we had?
Dude, Mark Martin is a living legend that I didn't know about until that jacket was shown for the first time.
Yeah.
So basically, my dad has this very old Mark Martin jacket that he probably got 20 years ago. Honestly, probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And Frizz got the first round with it on Saturday night, and then Cuddy put it on for Sunday. And this jacket, kind of makes you a little cocky,
Oh,
makes you
God.
look cool.
Yeah. Leather.
Think
He was
of,
the
leather.
cockiest
think of
person
Ricky
there.
Bobby and how cocky Ricky Bobby was when he was really good in the
Yeah.
movie. That was Cuddy.
Cuddy turned to the cockiest human being
He had shades
at
on.
that
aviators.
race event.
And the funny thing was the coincidence of Cuddy wearing that jacket was that, and at the time when we were putting it on, we didn't even know who Mark was. Honestly, even if he was alive or not,
Yeah.
it was so long ago.
Dude, I didn't realize. I didn't
I
know
honestly
anything about
didn't
Mark
even know it was a driver's jacket. I just thought it was just like a NASCAR
I thought
with
that
like
too at
sponsors
first.
on it. And
Nope.
But turns out he is
And
alive.
he was there.
And he commented on Cuddy's jacket.
Yeah,
And he is
Cuddy sh-
cocky enough because he
Cuddy shook his hand.
rejected the signature. He said, "I don't got time."
Actually,
Something like that.
He did shut him down.
Shut him down on the signature because he wanted Cuddy handed him a Sharpie to sign, and he said,
But
"I
when
don't got
Mark
time."
shook Cuddy's hand, Mark Martin's cockiness went right into Cuddy's,
It absorbed into
Absorbed
Cuddy.
it.
yeah.
and Cuddy was walking around in that coat all day long.
He was like 6 inches taller.
People were staring at him. Holy smokes, it's Mark Martin.
That's him.
Yeah, that was good. And I think overall, what I also liked about NASCAR was there's a lot of good drip there. People are wearing sick jackets.
It's
People
all
are,
like old school
people
stuff.
are wearing really cool hats.
Mhm.
The way people dress around NASCAR is.
Were you taking notes at
I was,
Hat
yeah. I
Styles?
was like trying to gather photos because there was like 10 hats that I just thought were the coolest thing ever. That were like old
Vintage.
racing team vintage
Yeah.
car hats.
They got good style.
Sick.
Good
Yeah.
style.
it was.
Man. Racing's cool.
Racing's got us now. We're hooked.
Next thing I want to do is actually want to go in a car
Yeah.
and get a ride
Pause it
Yeah.
around.
or drive myself.
Yep.
I wouldn't do too good with that. I know for
I just
a
wanted
fact.
to try.
I'd get
Yeah.
so nervous.
Yeah. You could easily do you can do it anywhere. You can do it at any track, but it'd be
Get paid for it.
doing Talladega would be one of the hardest ones to drive yourself for
Yeah.
sure. 'Cause some of them are pretty flat, but
Yeah.
and short. Some are like half mile.
Uh-huh.
Just
Circle,
12-second
circle,
laps.
circle. So crazy.
Oof.
What do you think the next race will be that we go to?
Hopefully the fall Daytona race.
Yeah, we already got kind of throwing another race date to put on our radar.
I think that wraps up or close to wraps up the regular season is that fall Daytona race.
Daytona 500.
That's a big one too, because
Yeah.
I've heard of that one.
Oh, is that not?
Oh, it's massive.
Oh, is the 500 not the fall race?
No.
I have no
Oh,
I
idea.
don't
My
know.
bad. My
I
bad.
think that one already happened,
Mm.
but it's the same speedway.
Okay, Daytona, Florida. We'll be there.
I don't know though. So many
I
freaking
bet you
races.
we're going. I bet you if
Yeah,
I were to bet
Daytona
right now,
500 happens in February.
we're going.
Mm. So this would be the Daytona something else.
I'll
Yeah,
find it.
Whatever it's called.
Daytona.
We'll be in attendance. We'll have a little more knowledge on race car by then, or NASCAR.
Oh, that's the night race.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's Saturday night.
Seeing it under the lights.
That'd be sick.
Cool. Well, NASCAR. You got the hockey guys as fans.
Yeah. Very cool. Very unique. And just good vibes all around all weekend and very successful.
What we got next now? Some playoff hockey.
Playoff hockey.
Yeah.
We're headed to Tampa.
For
on
2 hockey
Thursday.
games.
2 hockey games.
Schedule
on our
worked out
favorite
great.
Spots.
They could have been playing tomorrow, but this day will be nice.
It did get we did get lucky with that. That'd be tough now flying out. We have to fly out tomorrow morning. At least we get an extra day here.
Yeah, got the Panthers Lightning series coming up, which is, by this time airs, someone will either have a 2-0 lead or a 1-1.
Or it's over. Usually that's the deciding factor after today's game.
You think so? 2-0.
I think so. Usually,
Tough to-
it seems like if you go up 2-0, it's a hard uphill battle for that other team that
It's
comes.
tough. I don't know. When you go back home, you get that little spark.
Can never count the Lightning out.
The
They did
Molly
lose first
Arena.
round last year, but the Panthers are damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all made brackets, and my team that I want to win is the Panthers. So being able to see them, I'm pretty pumped to see them. Even though we're watching them at Tampa's arena, it's still pretty cool.
I gotta find my Lightning jersey.
Yeah. But other than that,
Jeez.
there's been some pretty dang good games so far in these series.
Yeah, that was also something else. We got to wrap up Talladega the most perfect way ever. As we were driving home, we got to throw on the Jets versus Avs game, and then the Oilers versus...
They played that?
No, it was Canucks versus
Yeah.
Predators.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just an awesome way to kind of transition our way back.
I think that was the first time, at least for me, being able to watch a live game on a RV. You don't get many
Yeah.
opportunities to do that. It's kind of funny.
What are you feeling about your Jets, Frizz?
Feeling good. City is absolutely buzzing. I talked to my mom this morning. Her and my dad went to the game.
They went to the game?
Yeah, she said that it was I've been to the playoff games there. They're insane. But she said that game with 7 goals being scored
Crazy.
against the Avs, where it's just every goal really matters with those guys because they can come back and put one in on you anytime.
Yeah.
They said everyone was losing their voice because it was just every however so long just
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. So another one tonight. Got my whiteout going here and see what happens.
I hope they beat them so badly because
Yeah.
I really want to get
Jets.
Dude,
them into the second round.
We could go there second round.
that would be really sweet to do.
I'm rooting for the Jets, too, coming from I wouldn't say I'm a non-Jets fan, but normally I would root against the Jets, but I do want to see them do well because I think they deserve to at least go far.
Yeah, Colorado just won. They
Yeah,
had their
yeah.
fun. They had their fun. It's our time.
What other series are you pretty excited about? Some from what we got right now.
Well, yeah.
Toronto one for me.
Yeah,
that
I was
one-
gonna say I watched that whole game yesterday. The Toronto and Boston.
Do you want to
one.
see Toronto win or go
Yeah,
far?
I mean, I picked Boston in my bracket, but I would like to see Toronto go far. Just
You feel bad for them, hey?
Yeah, just
there's a
come
lot of
on.
pressure on those guys.
Come on, and also a game I watched about half of last night is Dallas and Vegas because they kept saying last night Vegas's roster that they're playing right now has never played a game together because they had Mark Stone out. They got Hurdle at the deadline. He played 2 games before. They had the D-man out. So that game that they played last night was their first roster that they truly wanted for the Cup.
They looked good.
Yeah.
They looked good. I didn't watch the Oilers game, but just waking up to a headline seeing that McDavid got 5 assists in the game, that alone,
Same.
I think he's hungry this year more so than ever.
To me, every Canadian team I'm just rooting for
Yeah.
because it's
Uh-huh.
going to get more fun for those cities every round that they get further. Like Vancouver, what happened in Vancouver for their home opener in the playoffs? Because
They won.
Was there something significant?
They
with,
scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, I think.
They had a sweet
Oh.
intro.
Yeah,
it
they
was
have
the
their intro
yeah.
they've done for a long time, and the last time they ever did it was when they were in the
Long
Cup
time
final.
ago.
Oh, the Game 7 when they
Yeah.
Sedin brothers and they
Yeah,
lost.
so there's a big kind of heartwarming,
That's
just
exciting.
full circle thing. And then I saw videos after the game. Streets were flooded. People were climbing statues and stuff.
Really?
That's just for the first win.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen
Gosh.
in Edmonton. You'd think that they're crazier in Edmonton.
Well,
but
maybe they are. We just didn't see anything.
Vancouver
Maybe they're just
seems
scared yet.
nuts.
They're still scared.
And then you're gonna get hopefully not the same thing that happened when they did lose the other time.
The riots.
That's the worry about that team. If they go too deep, the
Yeah.
deeper, the more destruction.
Yeah.
Not good. But yeah, there's been some pretty good initial games in these series.
Did you see the Mitch Marner thing that he's getting
No.
attacked about?
No.
Dude.
I just saw a little clip. Like he went into the corner, and then puck went in the corner. He pretty much dipped out to the left, and then Boston defenseman just came in and scooped it, and everyone clipped that piece of him. And they're saying that, like, what is
soft.
he doing in playoffs? How it was like 50-50, and then he made it look like he was trying hard, but it clearly just made it easy for the D-man to grab it.
Yeah.
So he was getting chewed apart a little bit for that.
Yeah.
All I know is that his line mate, I believe his line mate, Matthews, put the team on his back
Yeah, he
yesterday.
did.
Holy cow. Got his 70th goal, too, eh?
Yeah.
Big
Goal
70.
Goal number 70 for the guy on his season.
Dude, his goal was actually sick. He caught that thing on a midair.
Mhm.
Caught it and put it down to himself.
Well, yeah, like I said, I watched that game. So right before, they actually got a goal disallowed too.
Offsides.
Bertuzzi. Maybe they had two goals
they had an
disallowed.
offsides
So
one,
yeah,
too.
because they had one that was a high stick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm waiting to see some more brawls though. It's gonna start to
There's
get
a good
heated.
scrap in the Carolina game.
Yeah, you always let the first game out of the way, and then as you go, these are going to get harder and harder and harder, and these guys are going to start to hate each other by the time Game 6 and 7 rolls
Was
around.
that brawl after the Hurricanes scored twice in 9 seconds?
I think it was before.
Before. Oh yeah, their third period was brutal for the Islanders.
They were done. You can't come
They
back
had
from something like that.
They didn't even have 10 shots or something. Like it was
Well,
brutal.
then right to end that game too, Gensel with the empty net. Or that's a different brawl from that game?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
see that?
I
Well, I'm
didn't see
sure
it.
that probably
Okay.
happened too. I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
Okay, so like to end that game, which just leads into their next game being physical, was that
Did he take a slapper on that?
not really. This one wasn't that bad. He did shoot it fairly hard, but he also had a man on him. But he buried it into the net, and then whoever the Islanders D-man was like slashing him pretty bad after he scored, and that was just like a chain reaction
Oh,
to
God, yeah.
a pretty big. I don't know if there was a true fight, but it was like very
Yeah.
scrummy of a line brawl
Huh.
to end off that game once they already had scored. But that was pretty sick.
Canes, man, they're good.
Yeah,
Jarvis
they're
had a goal
good.
too.
They are
Yep.
good.
Dude, Jarvis, dude. Ever since he came on the fan club pod.
Yep, it's true.
Just kidding. He's having a really good year though. I want to see if our boy Matt Rempe will get in the fight. He got a goal
scored.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be due for one this series.
You think so? Yeah, they got one tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard too that the Rangers, the whole building at Madison Square Garden was chanting his name or something like
Rockstar.
That team is
Yeah.
truly rallying around him. I saw Spit and Chicklets was talking about the Empire State Building. And
That's great.
Empire State Building.
How can you not fight when you got a whole MSG chanting your name? Like they're wanting it.
Man. Good for him.
So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I think there's a ton of good hockey that's going to be happening here that I'm, believe it or not, excited to watch, and I might turn my TV on.
There
you
you
go.
Come down to ours.
Get the
Like,
dust
know where the
off.
button
I was
is?
able to get the two screens beside each other yesterday. That was nice.
Yeah, I went to with the McCoys, watched the game, and then that's when I texted you like, "How do I watch games?"
Yeah. Did you find it?
Found it.
Nice.
Took a while, but I found it.
Nice,
Found it.
nice.
So what are you looking forward to then in Tampa for that series or trip of things
Yeah, you know what?
outside of hockey too?
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say this. American Social on the water and get some food. That's what I'm
What do
looking forward
you want?
to.
Some fish tacos?
I'm
Don't get the mahi.
Tacos?
we always get mahi,
Yeah.
but no, the food there is awesome. Vibes there are awesome, and I can't wait to
Weather?
just chill there. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to two things. I'm only outside of hockey because the hockey will be fun. Looking forward to maybe we'll do a morning run Friday because Friday we got off, and then that pizza place that we reached out to today.
Oh
This
yeah,
would be pretty
true.
cool.
Yeah. I think Tampa's one of the best cities just to walk around.
Walk
Mhm.
around, yeah.
Mhm.
And hopefully some good weather. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Pool.
What do you think the weather's gonna be like? Anyone look at it yet?
Nice.
See right now.
It's gonna be nice.
Sunny.
Oh yeah.
It's not good because me and Frizz are pretty burnt already.
Yeah.
This past week.
Hot.
It's gonna
Oh
be
my
nice.
gosh. Okay, Thursday 87, Friday 88, Saturday 87, Sunday
Wow.
88.
Nice.
All sunny too. Me burnt.
Good.
Burnt to a crisp.
Nice. I'm ready.
Bring your sunscreen, Frizz.
Yeah. I just didn't even think about it. It just didn't even truly didn't feel that hot out there. And there was always a lot of overcast too in Alabama.
Yeah.
So that's where I really got hurt. It's not like we went to the beach, set up and laid there and felt like, oh, it's hot out and there's no clouds in the sky. I need sunscreen. I just never felt that
Yeah.
the whole weekend. And my face doesn't even hurt. Honestly, it's just red. So
Let's go to Tampa.
yes,
Do it.
It's Cuddy. No games today, right?
No, I
'Cause
think we're
Cuddy's-
off.
No games today.
We're off from the games today, but yeah, thank you everyone for letting us ramble about NASCAR.
The debrief.
Be sure to go check out a race. I think you'll like it.
Mhm.
Agree.
I never thought I'd like it, but I loved it. Now let's go watch some hockey, boys.
Let's do it.
Yes. Take care.